getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, what's good? Happy Friday, good afternoon, and welcome. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 100.7 The Score mobile app, and on television, Fox 34 News Now, YouTube Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV. A whole lot of ways to take us in. Whichever way you're choosing to take us in, we're glad that you've decided to make us part of your Friday. Alongside Trent, Hilliard, I'm Chois, Woodman. Ben Porman across the way handling us today. You can also join the conversation. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, all of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Take the app just about anywhere with you. Even listen in if you're up in Riddle, Oregon. You like riddles?
I don't mind riddles.
I'm not a big riddle guy.
I'm not very good at solving riddles.
I can't solve them very well, so that's...
I'm too impatient.
Same here.
Yeah, I just think and have to go through it all. Nah, just give me the answer.
Right. We got plenty to get into on this Friday afternoon. We'll talk a little bit of everything. Texas Tech baseball in action, Texas Tech softball in action. I say baseball. Baseball's not in action until tomorrow, as that has been turned into a doubleheader tomorrow. We can get into just about anything you want to. Big 12, private equity. I'm going to need someone to explain it to me like I'm 5, just to help me fully grasp it. We'll get into, the other horse race. The smaller one, the Kentucky Derby, is this weekend, so we can get into that. Some horse names. I got a list that someone else put together of the best Kentucky Derby horse names of all time.
Okay.
There's some interesting ones on there. I don't think they hold a candle to the end of the bench Derby list of all time,
right.
but there's still some pretty good ones from the Kentucky Derby. Duke is out there paving a very dangerous path. We'll get into that. I'll explain later as well. Still another week has passed and not a lot of portal action for Texas Tech basketball. We're in May, so...
Yeah, some of the portal action has gone the opposite direction.
Right. There's been some targets that have decided not to make their talents known in Lubbock. So there's that. I'm still very much in the trusting Grant McCasland and trusting the past under Grant McCasland, but I get more nervous as time goes on and less filling of the roster is happening. Yeah. But again, as it's been well documented, JT Toppin was a late May addition. I think Christian Anderson was pretty late. You've had other summertime additions. So Jalen Petty, who was a big part of the team last year, was an August addition. So things happen. Openings pop up. Their players pop up, and you've got an opening. So we'll see. But we're in May.
We are.
I think you got – are we at 6 or 7?
Quite a few openings still there.
Seven players on the roster. I mean, technically, you're usually only about a 7-man rotation anyway, so just clear out the back end. Don't need any of that.
Hey, I think everybody breathe easy if we just get us that 7-footer.
Just need a 7-footer.
10.
It's like those grow-up trees.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the issue.
I do think there is pursuit of some European players, though. So that takes a little bit more time. And,
right.
And I think we will see 1 or maybe even 2, maybe more than that, European players end up for Texas Tech, because that's become much more of a thing in the last 5 years or so in college basketball.
Well, and the way we've seen those guys go against us the whole team from Illinois seemed to be made up of those, and then you had Iowa State, and it was just like, hey, we will take some of those.
Sure.
So
just got to get the right ones. Hey, we've had plenty of European players at Texas Tech in the past. Probably most notable Davide Moretti.
Yeah.
But you've also had some, Darko. What is the last name on Darko?
Oh, gosh. Oh.
Darko was there. We had, who's the big Polish guy from the Bob Knight era?
Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm blanking on these giant dudes.
And that becomes the issue. It's going no real notable
right.
Once you get past Moretti, guys that you're going, oh man, it's like it was more serviceable guys
Darko
than impacted guys.
Kovacevic.
Yeah, we need more impacted guys than
yes.
Than what we have had in the past from our European bigs.
And, of course, another topic that we will continue to talk about, I'm sure, all summer long until there's any sort of resolution is Brendan Sorsby and the future of Texas Tech football with or without him. So I feel like my feelings just flip-flop on this because there's nothing – I mean, at one point this week, I'm like, yeah, I really do think he's going to play. There was a point, I mean, right after this came out, I'm like, there's no chance of it. I don't even know where I'm sitting today. I think I'm leaning more on the teetering towards the he's not going to play side, but I just listen to Pete Thamel talk, and then I'll listen to someone else talk, and I don't really, I mean, no one knows.
No
one knows. We have a precedent, which is he won't play if you're just going off of how they've always handled these things, but there's not a true precedent for this situation where we live in this era of gambling all over the place, including advertisements everywhere in the NCAA.
Right.
So we haven't really had it, and we haven't seen anybody fight back against it, too, legally. So we don't know. I mean, we don't know how this situation is going to shake out and the timeline of it all. So I'm sure we'll get into more Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech talk. We'll look at the calendar or the schedule a little bit too, and how that feels different with or without Sorsby a little bit later today as well. So y'all bring in your thoughts, comments, questions, whatever you want to talk about on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. There was some bad news out of Grapevine too.
Oh yeah,
you're the high school coach. Does that make you like just your stomach turn when you see something like that? Grapevine baseball, who's won the last 2 state championships, the 6A level, has declared themselves ineligible because of a player that was living in the wrong zoning.
All right.
I mean, that's horrible for these kids.
Yeah.
Because almost all of them did nothing wrong. And, there's
really probably all
of them. Yeah.
Even the kid, this becomes more on the parents doing whatever, saying that their address is somewhere that they turned in and it wasn't where they were actually living or whatever.
That's some bad stuff too.
Yeah.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is a Friday afternoon in the Bottom Line, 100.7 The Score, and the 100.7 The Score app. Chois, Woodman, Trent, Hilliard, Ben Foreman, all with you till 3 o'clock. Keep your thoughts and comments coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We'll return to a few of yours here shortly. Before we do that, we've got a list, according to the internet. These are the things we're supposed to look forward to in the month of May. All right, in sports, NBA and NHL playoffs continue. Makes sense. Of course, the Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. Do you watch, or is it just if you're around you watch? Is it
the Derby?
Yeah.
Try to watch, but not. I don't do. I mean, it's like turn it over at 4:45 or whatever. Yeah. I'm not all the.
Not an all day.
No.
I get it. Yeah. I would advise just that's one of those bucket list things. If you can go one time in your life, go do it. The pomp and circumstance that comes with it is awesome, and it's a good race too. Preakness on May 16th.
Okay.
PGA Championship is the 14th this month. I'm still a little out of whack with that one. They changed that 3 years ago, where that's the earlier one. I think I like the timing of it better, because it used to be forgotten when they had it in August or late July. I think it was August.
Yeah, well, and super hot too.
Yeah,
I mean, just
so PGA is May 14th, and the French Open starts on the 18th. Indy 500 May 24th. So pretty good sports month. In the movies, Devil Wears Prada 2 comes out. You in? You gonna watch?
My wife is a big Devil Wears Prada fan, so there's a good chance we'll be going to it.
You're going to be going, huh? That's how that works.
Hey, a bucket of popcorn and a diet soda and
a good nap.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
I don't know. I didn't like the first one until I watched it again more recently with the wife. So she already went.
Oh my goodness! Got one of those
she
early
went
bird
yesterday
previews, huh?
Immediately. That's how much she is into it. She's
big
into the fashion, so
yeah. I want to go see Michael.
I definitely want to see Michael.
I want to see Michael.
Yeah, that's the one I want to see. Animal Farm comes out today too.
Okay,
I do want to see that. Iron Maiden: Burning Ambition hits the theaters next week. Mortal Kombat 2, and then the comedy The Sheep Detectives out next week as well. Have you not seen this advertised?
I have not.
It looks very weird and interesting. It's a bunch of talking sheep with Hugh Jackman. I don't think this is a spoiler because it's in the trailer. Hugh Jackman gets killed. He always reads murder mystery novels to his sheep. And then Hugh Jackman gets killed, and then the sheep go and try to solve his murder.
Boy, sounds like just an outstanding show.
I mean, it might be better than the Devil Wears Prada 2. I don't know.
I will give it that it is, and sounds like it's an original.
It is.
That's so hard to get nowadays. Everything
everybody's copying something else.
Something that's been done, and we're just coming, or Devil Wears Prada 2. That's, I mean, how long ago was one, or just the first one done?
20 years, right?
Yeah. And coming out with those, so something that's new and original, it's worth the shot.
Also, action movie In the Gray out this month, and Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. So,
you a Star Wars guy?
Used to be like the first 6 movies. Yeah,
right.
I haven't seen the 9th one of the full set. Whatever.
Okay.
I've seen 1 through 8. Haven't seen the 9th. I don't know why I've held out this long. And then I've seen here and there on some of the other stuff.
That's on. So,
are you?
Yeah. It's one of those things. I did not ever go see the originals at the theater.
Okay.
And that was, of course, a big deal when I was a kid. Everybody's Star Wars, and I never got into it. I wasn't much of a sci-fi person. The wife is. She loves Star Wars, so I've watched them and enjoy the Star Wars saga. I don't get into all the little things that you can watch on Disney Plus or whatever on those deals, and I haven't seen all the Mandalorian or whatever,
right.
And those deals, but I have seen probably all the movies that have come out
on TV in the month of May. Jersey Shore Family Vacation hits. That's the thing. The Roast of Kevin Hart. Perfect Match. Fear Factor 48 Hours of Fear is a new thing. Okay.
All right.
Non-original. The new Yellowstone spinoff, Dutton Ranch, comes out. I'm interested in that. I don't know if I'll watch though. And so more Rick and Morty as well. And holidays, of course, Cinco de Mayo is on Taco Tuesday this year.
Oh, gosh.
Mother's Day is the 10th. Y'all mark that down. Mother's Day is the 10th. Not this weekend, but next weekend. And then Memorial Day at the end of the month. Also, May the 4th.
Be with you.
Yep. Star Wars Day is on Monday. All right, so I said it's a dangerous thing. I mean, I'm probably a little hyperbolic with that, but Duke is paving a dangerous path in what was announced yesterday, and that's that Duke is entering into a first-of-its-kind enterprise partnership with Amazon that also includes the retail giant streaming service with 3 marquee men's college basketball games next year. The Blue Devils will face UConn in Las Vegas on November 25th, the reigning champ Michigan at Madison Square Garden on December 21st, and Gonzaga on February 20th in Detroit. What's dangerous about this is Duke found basically a loophole where these games are outside of their conference umbrella, the conference media rights umbrella of the ACC, because they're not played at home. These are neutral sites, so Duke is like, hey, we'll partner with Amazon, go take a big chunk of money here for neutral site games. To me, what's bad about this is not that Duke's making extra money. Make money off your brand, that's fine. What's bad about this is going to prompt more schools to play games away from their home arena. And that's what, I mean, we're sitting here as Texas Tech fans wanting more good non-conference games in Lubbock. Yet there's an opportunity out there to go grab Gonzaga or UConn or some big name, play them in Las Vegas, play them in Detroit, and make more money off of it than you would if you had a regular home game. This is going to happen more and more. So that's why I didn't like when I saw this, because this deal with Amazon also includes extensive NIL opportunities for Duke athletics as part of a broader retail partnership expected to be announced at a later date. So it's very enticing to Duke, and I get why they do it. But if you want games at home, this is not the route to go.
No. And you would think that the Duke, of course, Duke plays quite a few.
They play lots of,
away like that anyway.
Yep, they do.
And we've done it a few times.
Last year, you beat them in Madison Square Garden.
And so, it's not unusual for them to do that. But I guess these other schools, UConn, Michigan, Gonzaga, have to be benefiting too. It can't just be a one-sided thing for Duke. They have to agree and also be getting some NIL or just money.
I'm curious. Are they saying we'll split the rev share here, but we get to pick where it's on TV, which is streamed on Amazon?
Right.
I'm wondering if that's how that works or what the contracts look like. But everybody's attracted to play Duke, so.
Yeah, but I mean, those schools, they can carry their own weight for the most part as far as UConn, Michigan, Gonzaga. I mean, those are basketball brands. Michigan because they won the national title. UConn won it the 2 years before. It's not like they're picking up, Rutgers or somebody.
Right.
It's low level. These are big prime time, literally, I guess, matchups here.
Yeah. So we'll see what this means for the future. We've already seen the multi-team events and that sort of thing that already pulls games away from home campuses. I think what we're going to have to see in the future is some, just like you see in football where there's, you have to play some mandates, you have to play a Power 4. Right. Some maybe mandated Power 4 non-conference home and homes.
That would be great
in the future.
Yeah, it would be great.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
You're hanging out with the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 100.7 The Score mobile app. Friday edition here with you today. Y'all keep the thoughts and comments coming in. Yates Flooring Center chat line. Got a list of best Kentucky Derby horse names of all time, as the Derby is this weekend. We'll get to that. First, a few of your thoughts on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. A question I never thought would be posed in Sports Talk Radio. Devil Wears Prada, start, bench, cut. Miranda Priestley, Andy Sachs, or Nigel. I honestly don't remember the characters' names. Miranda's the devil in this, right? That's the Meryl Streep character. I don't remember who the other two are.
Andy Sachs is Anne Hathaway.
Oh, okay. I forgot that's...
And Nigel's is Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was going. That's the bald guy, the glasses.
That one. Tucci.
You could say the fly by the seat of his pants, the flamboyant guy in the Hunger Games who's hosting that talk show. But
that's right.
The purple-haired Elvis with a Padawan ponytail on the back. So
I mean, this is one of the easiest questions ever. I mean, you're starting Andy, benching Nigel, and cutting Miranda, right?
Right. Yeah.
Got to.
Have to.
I mean, she's really... literally the devil in this movie. What happened with Brewster? I assume we're talking Jalen Brewster here. Jalen Brewster is still, in my understanding, firmly committed to Texas Tech. The questions of the firmness popped up whenever you dismissed your defensive line coach, which seemed to be just as more things have come out in recent weeks. But Coach Darnell Fitch is who we're talking about. So Brewster, the number one player in the country for the 2027 class, is still committed to Texas Tech. But it appears that he's gone to Indiana, Florida. I think he was at SMU today. He's going through all these visits. I mean, you're going to have to fight to keep him, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's how this works. Texas Tech's not used to, and I'm saying used to in previous years, dealing with having to hold on to the number one recruit in the country. It's a good place to be. But you're going to have to try to keep him. Yeah, you would love for him to be all in Texas Tech, nobody else. I don't even want to visit these places. But he's also a high school kid that gets to go get wined and dined and taken care of every stop he goes to for free. So wouldn't you go take advantage of that? I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah. You if you're one of those guys, you got to take your allotted amount of visits, and
that's kind of what I think.
How fun.
Like, I am as Texas Tech through and through as it gets. And if I was in his position, which I'm not and never would be, but I'd be like, okay. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's wrong to the other schools.
Right.
Like, I'm literally going on these things so they can treat me.
Yeah.
Heck, if you go to UT for a visit, apparently they spend a couple $100,000 on you. Well, if you're Arch Manning. But anyway, I'm not going to spend any extra worry on Jalen Brewster and whether he's a Red Raider or not a Red Raider, especially until anything comes out to the contrary. Yes, he's visiting all these places. I know there's stories out there. Indiana feels good about their visit, that sort of thing. It may cost more money than you initially thought to have him, but it's another one of those things I think your donors and your coaching staff think is important to get the number one player in the country. Because if you get one of them,
right,
dominoes start to fall. Just like all of these things we've seen when it comes to recruiting and just your program in general. You knock down walls, you're able to open more doors for future stuff.
And I'll take the Chois Woodman approach on this one here. My rose-colored glasses. That how great is it that he's committed here? He's going these other places, and then when he turns around and recommits or gives his solid commitment to you, he's done that over in Indiana and over these other top places, and so he picked you twice.
Pretty well.
Even better, and give you more that hey, it's not, maybe that's not even all about the money, the large part, but also it is something about you visit and you see the facilities and you see the culture and all that. So let him go experience some of that. We do need to change the word commitment.
Oh boy!
When we put that out there,
you're not wrong.
He's currently ranked Texas Tech as his number 1. That's something like that. But let's get away from commitment, because there is no such thing until somebody has signed on the dotted line. Commitment doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest issue I have with that. But if he wants to go and check out other schools and see what's out there, then by all means. And that's what you get a lot with the transfer portal. These guys, all these schools gave them the love, and it was so much fun to be wanted and chased and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And now you lock down the school, and now it's just hard work, and the coaches are on me about doing things right. I want to go feel the love again.
I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say this. I would say at least half the guys in the portals are there because they miss that feeling of being wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that comes with money and those sorts of things too, but just the feeling of the attention of the social media,
right.
the attention of coach is loving on me here, that sort of thing. That's why I do think you have an advantage when you do get guys to campus. There are very few that leave disgruntled from Texas Tech in the Joey McGuire era, because you've got a culture that seems to be different, where the love continues and isn't just a fake thing from when you get recruited until you sign on the dotted line. But as far as Brewster goes, you're going to continue to battle to try to keep him all the way up until December, hopefully, when he signs here. And that's part of being in on a number 1 overall recruit or a 5-star in general. This text, PGA Championship moved in 2019 from August to May, which was the month that began when it started. There we go. Thank you. Do you guys think Sorsby will be back at Tech? He can return to the program after he completes treatment because the NCAA has not made an official ruling, right? If he isn't back, one could assume it's either his decision or Tech's. So 2 things can happen here. Texas Tech can declare him ineligible and say we're self-imposing ineligibility, that sort of thing.
Right.
They can go ahead and do that, and then the NCAA can choose to take whatever Tech's decision is, whether that's a suspension or indefinite, whatever it is. Or the NCAA, as they should be right now investigating the entire situation, will make their own decision. And it may be both. Or they can say, no, Texas Tech's decision on this is not strong enough. We're giving you our own decision. So right now, you're correct. He's not ineligible. He could come back to your program. But I don't. But something's going to happen. Like, this isn't just we're just gonna leave it alone type of thing.
Yeah, I don't think Tech does anything because nothing happened while he was playing for Tech.
Yeah.
And that's part of the bad thing is we're kind of getting dragged through all of this and going, wait,
sure,
really Indiana situation or a Cincinnati situation here,
right?
So in the investigation, as far as what happens with him, I think a lot of it is going to be what happened after that initial freshman redshirt year bet for Indiana to win or whatever.
How much
was it a one-time I bet this, or was there continual bets on college football and stuff? If there weren't, and it's a one-timer, then suspended a couple of games or something like that type deal.
I think the biggest questions that are unknown at this point, and that will be the at least most determining of whether you can just cut it off right now, there's no Brendan Sorsby or not, is one, has he placed any bets while he's been in Lubbock? And did he place any bets on college football while he was at Cincinnati?
Right.
I think those two. Was it that Indiana period? Was that it for college football? Was that it for his own team? Because if there's anything where it's Cincinnati where he bet on his own team or bet against his own team, anything like that, I think that wipes out any chance.
Yeah.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score. 100.7 The Score mobile app and on television, Fox 34 News Now. YouTube, Fire Stick, 950 on your AM dial. Lots of ways to take us in. However you may be doing so, we are glad that you've decided to hang out with us on this Friday afternoon. Alongside Trent Hilliard, I'm Chois Woodman. We got Ben Poorman across the way taking care of us. Y'all keep hitting us up. You got thoughts, comments, questions? Bring those all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Take the app anywhere with you. Even listen in if you're out in Hooks, Texas. You ever been to Hooks?
I have not.
I don't know if I have been. So we're talking about Brendan Sorsby, as we have pretty well all week. You know, I keep reading and consuming stuff that'll make me go back and forth on what I think is going to happen. And specifically, I can convince myself one way or the other, yeah, he's going to play next year. No, he's not going to play next year. I think the people that are hard and fast, there's no chance he's going to play. I think there's a time where that would have been true.
Right.
In college sports. When you have a gambling issue, you're gone. We live in a different era. We also live in an era where the NCAA does not rule with the iron fist that it once did. For example, Trent, the last really three major sanctions that the NCAA has brought upon teams, or you could call these scandals, whatever, they haven't been that harsh. Again, none of them involve gambling, so you have to take that into consideration. But look back to 2025, Michigan football. Sign stealing violations. Program receives no postseason bans or vacated wins. Jim Harbaugh got a show cause, where he can't coach for 10 years. Okay? That's where that one is. Kansas basketball, 2023. Multi-year probe by the NCAA resulted in very minimal penalties and no postseason ban. Head coach Bill Self and assistant coach Curtis Townsend were suspended for 4 whopping games. 4 of them for tons of allegations against Kansas. Tennessee football in 2023. NCAA penalized the school for over 200 violations. 200 violations going on, including cash payments under former coach Jeremy Pruitt. Tennessee had ultimately fired Pruitt, and the program received 5 years of probation, as well as 28 scholarship reductions over the 5 years. Generally slaps on the wrist over the last 3. Those are the last 3 major rulings the NCAA has had to have. Now, those are for teams. We're looking at individual here in Brendan Sorsby. Well, half of it is. Because Cincinnati and Indiana could face future sanctions and issues. But specifically to Brendan Sorsby, it's a different situation. I would not be shocked if the NCAA comes out and says, this is what we're doing. A full year ban, a lifetime ban. But there's also language in the new rules 2023 and on, and I realized this was 2022 when this happened, at least some of it.
Right.
There's language in the new rules, Trent, that says could. The word is could face a permanent ban. It is not will face a permanent ban, but it says could. Meaning they have room for judgment. Room for judgment on the punishment. So where do you land on this Friday? Because you and I were sitting here on Monday when this news broke.
Yeah.
And it was kind of just shell-shocked at the moment. But you've had 5 days to digest. Where are you sitting on what you think is going to happen at this point?
I think it's going to be a couple of games. I don't think it's going to be for the whole year. I don't know if they're going to be able to, expedite the process enough. NCAA does not move very fast. So, but you have to. I mean, this is this guy's senior year, so you've got to figure out something. And I can see it just being a short-term ban. I think, again, for my mental health is going to play a huge role.
Mm-hmm.
I think mental health today, and when you're talking about athletes and all the different things that we've seen with the athletes, and I mean, you can go to the Michigan State trainer and all the stuff. I mean, that mental health for the athletes is kind of first and foremost out there, and when you start dealing with that, that becomes a different line that you're talking about besides what happened. Again,
I mean, you've been a coach recently. If those two words are mentioned, you almost have to just kind of off, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to.
The three things that you don't want to hear if you're in education and you try to do it, are the mental health aspect of things, the bullying part of it, and racist. Those are the key words that parents have figured out. If I throw these out, they're going to have to go and listen to me and have to have the meetings and whatever, regardless.
Right.
And 99% of the time, it comes to playing time in those type of situations. But there are those things, and you want to take care of kids, and kids are it's different. Because mental health can be such a broad thing,
Very.
Yeah. Oh, well, you hurt my kid's self-esteem. Why? Well, because they weren't playing. They worked just as hard as everyone else, and that's true. And the coach has to make those decisions, and those are horrible decisions of the coach. But here we're dealing with something completely different that has nothing to do with that. It's a more of a self-inflicted type thing. But it still doesn't mean that it can't. You can just sweep it under the rug, and so I think the investigation is all going to be on: did he bet on college football after that freshman year?
Yep.
When he was redshirting.
When he was really playing.
Right. When he was just redshirting. If he did beyond that, then I think it's going to be a situation where he's not going to be eligible. And I think now it's going to come to Cincinnati, because that means he was doing it at Cincinnati. Were they aware of it? The rumors out there, yes, they were told, they didn't do anything, whatever. Cincinnati's the one that could find themselves in trouble there.
Yeah. All right, y'all continue to bring in thoughts, comments, whatever you may have on the AIDS Flooring Center chat line. We'll read a few more of those. We'll have some fun reading through the best horse names in the history of the Kentucky Derby, according to one list on the internet. That's coming up next.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Alongside Trent Hilliard, I'm Chois Woodman. This is the Bottom Line. Hanging with you until 3 o'clock on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Y'all continue to bring in your thoughts, your comments, your questions, whatever you may have. It's all welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score app. Let's see. This texter says, yeah, that was Kansas, Michigan, and Tennessee. We're Tech. We are screwed. Seems like sound logic.
Yeah.
We know how these things go. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't believe that anything is just cut and dry. He's absolutely playing. He's absolutely not playing. Any of that sort of thing. I think there are a lot of decisions that have to be made. I think there's legal ramifications. I think there's a lot into consideration because the NCAA, NCAA is used to getting dragged through the mud. They will continue to do so even more if they bring down the hammer super hard in this gambling situation, especially if it is what we see at surface level right now. That the worst of it was when he bet on a team that he didn't actually play for. Again, I get the rules. But if that's what it is, and then, again, Ari Wasserman going through this whole Brendan Sorsby spiel. This segment brought to you by BetMGM. Like, that sort of stuff. That was not a joke. That really happened earlier this week. And Arizona announced last week their $60 million deal with Casino del Sol to name their stadium rights. It's everywhere. You're playing the College Football Playoff National Championship in Las Vegas next year. All of it. It all factors in and should factor in to the decision that's coming. Because this isn't the same as it used to be. This isn't where gambling is just the worst thing ever like it was once viewed with sports. You're in bed with gambling, and with that, there are going to be problems. And you have to learn how to navigate through those problems. All right. Lighter-hearted topic here. Kentucky Derby names. The best horse names in Kentucky Derby history. This is a list of 20, so I'm going to zip through it. In 1882.
Going way back.
Number 20, Lost Cause. Okay. 1991, Happy Jazz Band. I like to look at these and be like, okay, that one could have made our list. That one could have made the end of the bench derby list. That one, 1972, Sensitive Music. Also could have made the list. And I'm pretty sure that's the year that Secretariat won. 17, in 2006, Sinister Minister. I like that.
Yeah, got the rhyme.
16, 1992, Dr. Devious. 15 from 1970, Corn Off the Cob. I like that.
Not bad for a when you're naming a horse. It's a 3-year-old.
Yeah. 1951, Sir B-Bum. Okay. And at number 13 in 2006, Deputy Glitters. Okay. 12 in 95, Afternoon Delights. 2007, number 11, I'm a wild and crazy guy, all one word.
Do you know the reference on that one?
I don't.
It's Saturday Night Live, 70s, Steve Martin.
I should have got that. Yep. I'm a wild and crazy guy. Yep.
Dan Aykroyd.
Steve Martin. Yep.
There you go.
And that one got through as a name. There are rules to the naming. I'll go over those in a moment. Number 10, Gold Shower in 1943. Number 9, that's a weird one. I should have read through this list first. It's relating to a rooster. Okay.
Pass.
1916. Y'all go look it up. 1916 horse. Number 8 in 2003, all one word. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay. Starts with an A.
That's what I'm talking about.
Number 7 in 2015, Ocho, Ocho, Ocho. Okay. Number 6 in 1907, Wool Sandals. Feels like that one could have made our list. Number 5, Mucho Macho Man in 2011. The number 4 horse on the best Kentucky Derby list, or Kentucky Derby horse names list, I Am the Game in 1985. Okay. 2010, Home Boycress. I think I did wrong emphasis on the syllable there. Homeboy Chris. It's all one word again. Number 2, Mr. Frisky from 1990. And the number 1 horse, according to, I don't even know where this list originated, Tabasco Cat from 1994.
Wow. No War Admiral there.
No, War Admiral, did he run? He was a Derby horse. That's right. You're right.
I think he was second behind Seabiscuit.
I don't think they ran in the Derby together. Seabiscuit,
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it.
I don't think Seabiscuit ever ran in the Kentucky Derby. So, there you go. I feel like the end of the bench Derby's horse names are way better than that list. I'm a little biased, but so there are rules to naming of the horses. There are 10 reasons a horse name can be denied.
Okay. Just through like the Quarter Horse Association?
I think you actually have to submit to the Kentucky Derby or itself.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of times these horses have other names, but this is the name that they go by.
They have to go by for the Derby.
The Derby. All right, names consisting of more than 18 characters, including spaces and punctuation, will be prohibited. So it cannot go beyond 18 characters.
Is that just what their
That's the rules.
Board has up there?
I guess
something.
I wonder if that started that way.
Right.
Nowadays, surely.
Right.
Names consisting of entirely initials. Okay. Names ending in horse-related terms like filly, colt, stud, mare, and stallion. Okay, so you can't have a horse name in there. One of our names this year that didn't make the cut was So Horsey, so I bet that one wouldn't have been okay. Names consisting of entirely numbers. Also, along with that, numbers above 30 can only be used if they're spelled out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder why that became above 30.
I'm curious on the reasons for a lot of this. Other reasons a horse name can be denied for the Kentucky Derby: names ending with a numerical designation. So names can have Roman numerals, but you can't have things like second or third. Names of real persons, living or dead, unless there's written permission. And even then, it could be rejected by the Jockey Club. Nicknames are cool, though.
Okay.
Names of racetracks. You will not hear of a horse named Churchill Downs. Okay. Makes sense. Names can not be offensive in the eyes of the Jockey Club, which is obviously where this is going through.
All right.
Includes profanity, anything controversial, or be demeaning to the horse itself. You cannot have names that are currently active either in racing or breeding. So I don't know, can you have a repeat in the Derby of a name? I don't think you can. And then names, here you go. Names of winners in the past 50 years or otherwise retired names. So you can repeat as long as it's not a winner from the last 50 years. 50. I think that should be like an all-time thing. You shouldn't have any winner repeat names.
But it can't be the second or the third.
It can't be the second or third.
Junior, maybe?
I guess it can be with the Roman numerals if you use it that way. You just can't put second or third. There you go. I still remember when Lee Lewis had a horse in the Derby. Personal Hope. That's from Mr. B. If I remember correctly, the race I went to a couple of years ago, we had the group from Lubbock that had the horse that got scratched, or was that last year? Horse that died the day before the race.
Oh, yeah.
They had to put down. I cannot remember who it was, which horse. I'll find out.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Alongside Trent Hilliard, I'm Chois Woodman. At the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score app. Y'all continue to bring in thoughts, comments, questions. We'll have most interesting facts of the day for you here in about 15 minutes. But it is that time where we ask you to tell me I'm wrong, which I'm not. I don't think y'all will today. I think you're going to agree with me. But we'll see. All right, fellas. You could open up your Big 12 football schedule or whatever if you want for this, or just go off the heezy. I can't say I think. I know that the biggest beneficiary in terms of their chance at winning a Big 12 championship this year, the biggest beneficiary this season is the Houston Cougars. To the Brendan Sorsby news. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, certainly, even if it's a suspension, getting us early plays into that.
Yep.
Game 3, which seems to be a lot of people's magic number for if there is a suspension, it's a 3-gamer.
I don't think many people think he'll be playing in that game.
You also have Will Hammond not coming back, probably missing the first 3 games. So that part of it seems to be falling in line.
Yep.
Hard to argue with you on this so far.
I mean, there's other candidates that can benefit, and it can be ones that don't even play Texas Tech. Just thinking, Tech's going to lose games, and it opens the doors for others. But I believe it is the Houston Cougars that benefit the most of any Big 12 team from Brendan Sorsby and the news this week. Ben?
So you're saying the biggest beneficiary to Tech winning a Big 12 championship is Houston?
To Tech, or to the news in general, in terms of their own chances to win a Big 12 championship. Houston's gets the biggest boost from it.
I'm going to have to say you're right on that. Unless we see sparks from Arizona State like we saw last year, they just put us on our heels like they did. But that is a home game, so I probably don't see that happening. Baylor probably, because it's in Waco, and over the years we've never had our luck against them. They've, in some way, shape, or form, had our number. You could say the same thing about TCU, despite that being a home game, but I'll have to agree. Houston is a huge beneficiary based on what we've seen from their defense last year and their ability to keep Tech from scoring as much as they did in the red zone. Even though they did score, there were a couple trips that Tech went to the red zone and it just came up empty.
So the factors that go into this are, okay, who do you actually consider Big 12 title contenders? That obviously factors into this conversation. And then who gets Tech earlier in the season? Right. Of those teams that are in the mix. So if Houston is the one that really gets them early, obviously, in Game 3. The other Big 12 title contenders, you don't play Utah at all. You can say Arizona. Some factor them in. Arizona doesn't play Tech till Week 7. So if Sorsby's out for the entire season, this is kind of a moot point. But if there is a chance that he plays, there's BYU, who also doesn't play Texas Tech. Arizona State's the one that's pretty interesting to me, as Ben mentions, because the other number that's been thrown out there is a 6-game suspension, because that kind of lines up with the 50% that the NCAA addresses if you've gambled on the sport of football, on the sport you're in.
Right.
So if that's the number, if it's 50% and it's that 6 games, Arizona State is the 6th game of the year. But you've also had time to figure some things out up to that point. And that's why I don't say it's Arizona State. Houston, Week 3, you're still absolutely sifting through things with a different quarterback, and you will obviously be playing the toughest team you've played to that point in the year. You would think. Oregon State and on the road is the week before that. So I don't know who else it would be. Does seem a lot of the tougher games or the games against the tougher competitions in the back portion of the schedule for the Red Raiders. Y'all can chime in on that or otherwise. Yates Flooring Center chat line. It's interesting to see right now, and this is why I also don't think the door is shut on Brendan Sorsby playing. The irony in it, I get. I'm addressing it. But the Vegas odds, they moved a little bit with the Brendan Sorsby news. They did not move a lot.
Right. You're talking about Big 12 championship odds?
Big 12 championship odds.
Right.
Vegas, as of right now, still firmly believes Texas Tech's going to win this thing. I think it's plus 105 today, favorite. The next closest is 6-1. That's a big gap there. That's a big gap. Right. And that next closest, I believe, was BYU. So now if we get any more concrete news on Brendan Sorsby's out for good, okay, I think you'll see more of a shift. But I still think I think regardless of what happens, Tech is going to be the favorite to win the Big 12 going into the season. Right. We'll see how they look.
And I think that goes to what you did last year, and looking at a Baron Morton that wasn't considered a top quarterback in the conference, that you're going, okay, they manhandled, took care of everybody, demolished everybody with average, so to speak, quarterback play.
On a broken leg. Yeah.
And that, okay, so they're going to do the same thing in the conference, and that's what, the big upgrade for Tech was saying, hey, we've got to get someone. We didn't get someone that we can go win the conference with. We got someone that we can try to go win the national championship with. And so that's the upgrade. It's not for the conference level. And so, the guys that we have are good enough to go win the conference. That's how I think the odds haven't really changed any. I don't know what the odds were for the national championship or what the difference in those have been. That would be the part I would think has probably dropped more significantly than the conference championship odds have, because
that would be true.
Because that's what you were going for, and now that seems out of reach. But I think a lot of that depends on, if we had a healthy Will Hammond, I don't think we go and have to go get a Sorsby. I think we're fine with him. So a lot of it's going to be when he comes back, how's he able to play? He's not going to be as good as he was initially because he hasn't done anything for 8-9 months. It'll take him some time to get there, but can we manage and hang on while he's getting there? And then that second half of conference, now he's ready to go. He's who we've thought he would be, and we're able to play. Now I think we're right back into that national title contention because I think he's that good of a player.
You are correct. The odds for national championship dropped from 6th best earlier in the week down to 12th best.
Okay. That's still pretty high, though. That's higher than I thought it would be.
27-1, though.
But that's not knowing what Sorsby. If it were announced he's out, they probably drop a lot more.
Yeah. They were, I believe, as far as the actual odds themselves, you went from about 7 or 8 to 1 odds on the national championship down to 27 to 1. So significant drop in the actual odds, but in terms of pecking order, you went from 6th to 12th.
Right.
You fell behind Alabama. Darn. Red Raiders are behind Alabama again. Well, we lived there for a little bit.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.